Well, folks, welcome to CEO Crossings event. We've been hosting these on a monthly basis, and we've been having some incredible speakers. But today is one of my favorites, and we're going to talk about why. So, I look at the world we live in today, and the idea that we can put organic content out there. And there was a time that just putting out good content meant you got a following. Now today's algorithms with a lot of the search engines and a lot of the social platforms, it makes it harder and harder to get exposure. And so I was looking at my son, for example. He's 11 years old, but he's really good at parkour. And if anybody doesn't know what parkour is, like the idea of these people running across buildings and doing flips and all kinds of really cool things. And he's incredible at it. But he has an Instagram page and a TikTok channel, and he was not really getting a lot of people following him, even though his videos were incredible. Well, he got one mention from somebody who's an influencer, and the next thing you know, his channel blew up. And I bring that up because it's like we live in a world where if we can connect with people who are influential, and that's one of the reasons that CEO Crossing is such a great platform, because we give people the opportunity to connect with other people that are on a similar path, trying to really better themselves and grow. And we can do this through networking and other sharing. But the idea of having a platform where we can connect with other influencers who can help us grow, not just through a mention, not just through a referral, but possibly through exposing us to a tool or something that we didn't know existed. And so we're bringing a speaker today that is somebody that I've really grown to appreciate personally, but also professionally. She's doing amazing things. And the reason I brought up this idea of connections is because I don't want to do just a patent introduction for Charity. Charity Brown is our speaker today. She's an incredible person. But I want to turn this over to somebody who sees her from an amazing perspective, but is also somebody who's an incredible influential person himself. And that's Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. So bear with me real quick, and let's let Kevin introduce our speaker today.
I'm Kevin Harrington, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank. Charity Brown of the Now Answer Group is someone who is uniquely qualified to guide business executives through the minefield of various challenges. Charity runs a unique company that delivers both business consulting and coaching all in one, that has a step-by-step program which builds a business and holds the business owner accountable to their goals. There's nothing better than to have someone you can reach out to when it's time to solve your own business-specific problems. This is the type of expert.
I could not have said it better. Thank you, Kevin. That was amazing. And Charity, we are so excited to have you here on CEO Crossing. And I know you're going to bring incredible insights to all the people that are here today. So I'm going to turn it over to you. We're going to spend the next 45 minutes to an hour, and you're going to walk us through some incredible things that I know are going to transform our businesses. So we thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Paul. I am so excited to be here and share some of my newest, greatest hot rod tools for CEOs and business owners, especially the ones that are do-it-yourselfers and that run their own show. So these tools have helped me immensely. My client, we have scaled so many businesses using these tools, and they really are the best hot rod tools for 2020. All right, so let's get ready. Fasten your seatbelt because I'm about to step on the gas. All right, so let me share this presentation and we'll get started. So I hope this connects with most. And it's saying, here we go. You know why it's saying that? Okay, it doesn't.
We were seeing your screen.
You were?
Yeah, we were seeing it.
Okay, well, I'm not seeing it, so that's kind of a problem. But you can see the screen. You can see bulletproof your business and learn how to generate your financial goals on demand and with predictability.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because it is not showing up on my screen here. So this is going to be a little weird. I'm going to try to do this Hold on. That's weird. Why isn't it showing up on mine? Do you see me moving it around? Huh.
Yeah, I see it just fine.
Alrighty then. So, okay. So bulletproof your business and learn how to generate financial goals on demand and with predictability. How would you, as the CEO and owner of your business, like to generate 3, 5, 10, maybe even 15% higher profit margins by implementing key accounting safeguards on demand and with predictability? These key percentage indicators will help you manage and streamline your business with ease and flow. Okay, we all know that accounting can get a little tricky, right? It's a bit cumbersome and it takes a lot of focus and a detailed oriented person to be able to put all the numbers in the proper place so you can evaluate your financial health. So this is a way my program, the 5-Star Business Accelerator and the Happy CEO, will utilize these key tools that will be able to help you guide yourself through the rocky seas of financial reporting, let's say. So the key variables and the KPIs are very, very important. So the accelerated mastermind is really where we're going to go here. So this is where we step on the gas and I introduce you to some of the coolest, best tools on the market and show them how you can use them in your business. So the business accelerator effect. Most business owners and CEOs step on the gas and feel that they are driving their company to success. They have a general idea, maybe they have a super great plan, but maybe it's not dialed in tight enough and may not have the right key metrics to measure results. So there's a bit of uncertainty. And with this kind of economy, we know there's a lot of uncertainty. So now is the best time than ever to get these type of tools loaded and ready to roll for 2021. So the harsh truth is most business owners climb and summit that mountain, step on the gas and get their company to move, but there's still a lot of hope, determination, and unknown uncertainty. How do we dial that back in and create a financial GPS for our company and our business? Well, we use the best tools on the market today. 1, we start automating a lot of the accounting functions. 2, we start generating a list of the 5 KPIs that are driving your business. 3, we get financial reporting that delivers the reporting and the numbers that are needed that have been bulletproof tested for accuracy and that are FAS and GAAP compliant. Okay. So we need all of these pieces in the correct spot to be able to get the right numbers, correct? So only business owners with financial systems for KPIs that are streamlined can say, when I put my foot on the gas, my company zooms forward. Okay. So we need to implement a predictable system, one that can help you generate higher profit margins. Implementing these streamlined accounting and media controls, utilizing the highest tools on the market today, has served a lot of my clients, and they are very happy and pleased with the results that their businesses have gotten. So let's start with the first module. The first module is really the foundation building of your new Hot Rod financial accounting program. Okay, 1, we have to get super laser lucid clear on the foundations of your business. So in this rocky marketplace, economy, the uncertainty, we need to kind of dial back into what is most important to us as business owners. Really dial in to our mission, the problem we solve, our solution, our goals, our benchmarks, our forecasts, clear plan in place before we can really start saying we have a financial GPS that helped us scale to 7 and 8 figures. Okay. So with this, I'm going to introduce you to the road ahead, which is where we do all of our foundational building and where we get everyone in line with their business goals for current and 2021. And I hope this will let me share. I want to share a different window. There we go. Okay, so I hope you can see this. The live plan. I'm assuming everyone can see that, or no? Is that Paul? I just want to make sure. Okay, I'll just assume you guys can see this. This is a great program that we use. It creates a live plan and it helps the business owner and CEOs dial back into their business, their mission statement, what their opportunity is, the problem we're solving, the solution. The key thing is really looking at our target market as well and doing SWOT tests on competitors. So doing a SWOT test, it's super important to know who your competition is, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their opportunities are, and what their threats are. Once you do that and you dial in to your competitors, then you have an advantage. So especially at this point in the marketplace, we really need to dial into the competitor SWOT. Okay. So once we do that and we have identified our target market and we can look at the possibilities of revenue and we've dialed into the problem we're solving and our solution, along with our key mission statement, then we can get to sales, marketing, and financial projections. So this handy app really allows you to reaffirm your business goals, reaffirm your vision, and also is accepted by the majority of banks and capital and VC investors for capital for an investor pitch. So this certain format and the level of information that's provided in this software allows you to send it to banking for additional capital or an investor pitch with your financial packet and deliver to them what your key mission is, your opportunity with the market, who your target is, who your competitors are, how much money you're seeking, and what channels are you going to use to generate additional revenue, and also the activities that you'll be doing to generate additional revenue. The one thing I really like about this program is it helps with financial projections. So of course we take the real numbers out of possibly your accounting software like QuickBooks, Peachtree, Solomon, Mass, Quicken, any accounting software, and we get averages and we look at the trends and we look at the averages and we calculate the KPIs, and then we generate some estimated numbers for this economy in this market, kind of dial back into what's happening now and then integrating it into what was happening and then get a good average so we have some specific financial goals. Okay, so this is step one, really reaffirming your goals. The other amazing thing about this program is there's milestones. Okay, the milestones will hold the business accountable to their goals. So this is very important at this time, especially a lot of people are reorganizing. People are starting new, more innovative ideas that are COVID friendly. And we kind of go through all of those things and find out what processes do we need to put into place that are going to help generate additional revenue and keep the business alive. And then you put them in here, and then all of this integrates into your accounting software if you want, and it will help you track and remind you and send you emails and things like that. Okay, so this is kind of like the accountability system for action takers, people that like to be organized and that have, a system in place so you don't drop the ball when you have wearing a million hats and you have so many things going on. It's nice to just get an email or a text, a reminder from the program saying, hey, you're supposed to launch your new classroom live training today, or you're supposed to launch your new financial reporting software, or your budget will be due in a week, or your financial forecast, for the new line of credit is going to be due in 5 days. So it will set everything up for you. It will send you upcoming, and it will show you what's completed, and it really is interactive and helpful. So you also can add your team and key roles, and also your partners and resources. Okay. So that is like really step one into reaffirming your goals and getting CEOs and business owners dialed in, again, with the passion for their business and their vision with some true metrics. This program also does an extended business plan. Okay, we're not going to go into that now, but this is really pretty much just reaffirming and doing an investor pitch and dialing into some key areas that probably should be reviewed every year, that a lot of business owners think they do their business plan once and then they don't revisit it, and then they find themselves kind of floundering or not really scaling to the level they want. And so coming back to this and reaffirming everything you're doing and redialing it back in and surveying the numbers again and seeing what is possible is part of the accelerator effect. I found that after this process, the business owners seem so much more dialed in and so much more passionate about what they're doing and excited about their future and their business's future. So I certainly suggest revisiting your plan and kind of dialing back in for 2021.
Charity, Eric had mentioned that you had some issues. Unfortunately, my headphones broke on me, and I switched out my headphones, and so I missed. Was there a problem with the demo?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't sure if I was trying to share this, if it was actually showing it.
Okay.
So can you see? So if it was, then you can see this. Is this?
No. Oh,
you
there we go. Yep, we see it.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so that whole presentation went well. Everyone saw what I was talking about, and I wasn't talking to myself. So that's lovely. Okay, good. So can we do a Q&A for this step one, or is this just fly through and we'll come back to it?
Yeah, let's save the questions till the end.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. So then we will move on. So I did want to just touch on, not that. The next part. So let me get back to that slide. Okay, so we're back here at Owner Operator Journey to KPI Streamlining, and we just finished the live plan investor pitch that we go through, and then once that process is buttoned up and we feel that that's a very accurate picture of what the business is capable of doing, and then we move forward into really bulletproofing the financials. Okay. So the financials, we do an in-depth review as an auditor or CPA, accountant. We go through and we teach the business owners things that they need to know to manage their business or for their team. So there's always isolation of duties, segregation of duties. If you're a business owner operator, you can do everything. You can wear all the hats. But if you are a 6-7 figure entrepreneur and you have an accounting team and you just have one bookkeeper, accountant, business manager, and she's doing everything, that's a bit of a problem. And I've seen a lot of cases where that is not a good idea. So if you can always keep yourself in place when it comes to having a financial role in your company, I teach people 5 things that they need to look for at the end of the month on their reporting, in their bank reconciliation, to make sure that their numbers have been reconciled, that they are valid, that they ended up in the correct place, and that their reporting is GAAP and FAS compliant. We look at the profit and loss statement and the balance sheet and the cash flow. We get a really good, clear picture of the chart of accounts, which is very important for business owners to know how to log into their accounting system, to look at the chart of accounts, and to dial into maybe inactive accounts that are hidden, accounts that may have negative balances, and other red flags that you may see on the balance sheet, equity transactions, things like that, that really need to be reviewed every month to make sure that the accuracy of your reporting is good, so your KPIs are correct. Okay, so we also look at what the stress points are. We look at where maybe the lines are blurry, where we can get a little more detailed. And then we start looking at the KPIs and really finding out specifically by industry what this business should be doing, what can we compare it to, and then we start finding out operational things that may need to be adjusted, or accounting functions that are not necessarily processed and booked correctly. Okay, so I'll show you an example of some of the reporting in QuickBooks. This is a sample data set. So, it really does help to have your accounting on a cloud or somewhere where you can access it without having to disrupt your staff. So let me make sure this is sharing. So I'm going to go into this QuickBooks file. I'm sure you've all heard of Intuit QuickBooks. It is very robust software, and it can go from a small entrepreneur doing, 50 to 100K to 7 to 25 to $50 million a year. Like, it really can generate the full cycle accounting that you need to grow your business. It has all the capabilities of that. So this is like the Performance Center. QuickBooks has teamed up with my ultimate favorite app, okay, that I have been using for years, that has really helped my clients with their financial reporting and KPI reporting, and really delivers a super interactive reporting function that ties into QuickBooks. And so all the data and all the metrics are a direct stream of data from your data file, and they are targeted. So once we go through the process of setting up your forecasts, your budgets, your targets, your KPIs, we go in and then we set those targets up in I hope you can see this in Fathom. And so it communicates with QuickBooks, and then we start tracking the cash flow, the growth, the profitability, and we see how close we are to our goals, to our financial statement, net profit margins, gross profit margins, labor, cost of goods, overhead, direct occupancy, all of the key metrics. So the other amazing thing that it does is you can program it to develop your key metrics on demand, and then you can measure the outcome, and it will tell you whether you're in compliance with your goals or not. So it's just really amazing is what it is. It takes a lot of the Excel guru type of work, hunting and pecking all the variables, and then just puts them in an analysis that will dial that business owner into the complete health of their business. At any time, you can do it monthly, you can do it annually, you can do it quarterly. And, this paints a picture for the business owner to be able to say, hey, we didn't meet our goals last month. Like, we're, 4% behind on fixed expenses. our pricing is good. We're, at about 2 to 4% within KPI. It'll do a little analysis. The profitability ratio is 28.4%. It'll tell you then, once you get your numbers dialed in, it'll do a full KPI report, and it will also explain to you what these KPIs are, what to do when they're out of ratio, and what possibly could be the problem. It will do a full analysis for you. So
Charity, we're currently just seeing your QuickBooks screen, the where it says 50% off QuickBooks. So if you're trying to show us the other tool, we don't.
Oh, what? Okay.
And for the audience out there, we tested all this before the event. It's Murphy's Law in effect.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's so many screens here. So it's like application window, entire screen, Chrome. Okay, do you see this one?
Yes.
Sorry, I have like 5 screens, so someone's gonna have to tell me. Please let me know if you're not seeing what I'm talking about. Because I can't see it. The weird thing. That's why it's a little different than Zoom, because this doesn't let you see what you're sharing. So
and that number on the right is the check you're gonna write me. Is that correct? Anyway.
Yes, right. That's the check that I'll be getting later, right? Just kidding. This is just, by the way, this is sample data. Big Biz 2020 obviously doesn't exist, so don't get where. I have a bunch of beta tested files that I use for my training, so there's all kinds of data plugged everywhere in these ones. So, but I just wanted to show you the Performance Center on QuickBooks, which helps you dial in to your key metrics and show you what your industry benchmarks are, how close you are. And then they also use the advanced reporting tools. So the cool thing is that QuickBooks is now integrated with Fathom. So Fathom is like one of my most favorite softwares applications that I've been using for years to help my clients. Now it's a lot more easy for clients to get access to Fathom. Okay. So Fathom is awesome. It does analysis, it does KPI reporting, it does all of the complex KPIs that people used to have to do on their Excel dashboards. It will take you on a magic carpet ride with ease and flow of being able to figure out, is my company growing? Are we doing better than, first quarter? Are we, meeting our goals? So this software is where we would enter all of your business benchmarks, budgets, and forecasts, and they would integrate with the QuickBooks. And then it will develop a KPI report saying where you're good, where you're on target, and none of these have been entered. So some of these are just standard. So, but the red ones will show you which KPIs are out of a metric, out of ratio, what your inventory turns are, what your efficiency is, what your asset usage is, what your liquidity is, what your cash on hand is, your revenue and your EBITDA, and gross profit margins, and everything that you ever could want to know about your business health. Okay. It also delivers one of these most amazing reports, okay, that help business owners determine how to make educated decisions on what to do in regards to shifting and changing revenue and expenses. Okay, so it's not like, we hope this goes right. It's really a calculated program that dials you into solutions. So, for example, that's funny. And Explorer isn't on here today, so that's fun. Okay, well, we'll just keep going with what this is. So back to Fathom, because maybe I can just export a report for you to show you how amazing it is. So this report you can go to the report center and okay, I need an annual performance report. Do we want to edit? Sure. So it gives you a report building package, okay, where you can select and choose what items do you want to share with your board? What items do you want to share with your internal management? What items do you want to share with your external business associates? How and who sees the information is so important. So let's say the charts and graphs and all the information that you can add here, you can add an immense amount of information. This is just like a standard, but the standard is pretty good. So it will show, revenue's up, profitability's up, but what's down? Let's see. Okay, net debt is down. That's kind of good actually. So KPIs and metrics, you can look at them. It'll tell you you're on 13, you're off 7. So let's go look. Like, what does that really mean to a business owner? What does that really mean to a CEO or a CFO? When you're seeing red and it's saying, "Oh, your cash on hand's low, your asset turnover is low." Why are your revenue profit margins going down? So let's go look at the very end of this report, which is awesome. It goes into a detailed analysis. Okay. So let's say your current ratio, well, that's for high inventory, like warehousing. Let's get something measurable here. So net profit after tax, net variable, quick ratio. That's a measuring of the balance sheet, equity, revenue growth. So total revenue. This is a good one. So total revenue, measure of your total amount of money received by a company for goods sold or service provided. The business has earned total revenues of blank. Strategies to improve revenue may include increasing prices, increasing the volume of sales through marketing initiatives, or finding alternative sources of income. For this period, the revenue earned is required target of 140. So you can see that Fathom has came up with a scenario. Well, if your revenue is low, you must increase your prices or find other alternatives. So same with a lot of these other more trickier things like your return on equity. This is a positive one, so it's better to look at the negative ones because it really does give insightful, helpful tips and tricks to increase your KPIs. So integrating that with your QuickBooks can eliminate hours and hours of Excel sheet, data entry and compilation and extrapolation of all these numbers, which I've done for years. But now I no longer have to, so I really appreciate this program. All right. So let's get back to, those are some of the two of the key tools that I like to use to help develop the financial GPS. That's why I call it navigate through the financial pathways, because this is a way to obtain more control and more accurate information and help with better decision making when it comes to your financial health for your business. All right, so then we dial into your KPIs, which we just discussed. We look at the key metrics. We look at the general equations at a glance, and we put all the variables into the programs and the targets and the benchmarks. And then we look at the numbers and then we compare them to see what's good, what's bad, and then what needs to happen to make them better. Okay. So we call it KISS, keep it simple. And it's really pretty much that simple. And
Charity, I said we were going to go to the end for questions, but we had some questions I think that might be really pertinent to the topics that you've gone over. If I can throw out a couple of those to you.
Sure.
So, first of all, what are the KPIs that you find are often underutilized? Because I mean, obviously, in a company, there's several factors that we can measure, but what do you find in terms of key performance indicators that maybe should be more measured than they are?
Yeah. So, well, I think I mentioned the key 5, but a lot of the, labor labor, marketing, ad spend, getting really in depth in each one of those areas. So, for instance, people just look at their net profit margin, but they don't really, and they look at their admin overhead KPI, but they don't really look at like marketing and advertising. So that's one area in my program. We take a deep dive, and it takes about 2 weeks to really get business owners on the right KPIs that are internal KPIs within the financial statements, like advertising and marketing, Facebook ad KPIs, all their ad channel KPIs essentially. Are those on target? Are those meeting your ROI? Are they meeting, the standardized acquisition cost of a new client? So it's not just the overall KPIs of the financial statements, it's internal KPIs by processes and procedures.
And then what about some of the reasons to use Live Plan beyond standard financial reporting?
Well, one, LivePlan isn't a financial reporting software, so we always go back to the accounting, like QuickBooks or Sage, or something that is the financial standard accounting software. We take the numbers out of there and we put them in LivePlan. It's like all these things operate together. It's not using one or another. It's like a whole system.
Okay, and then revenue rich and cash poor is a mantra of so many businesses. What's a good way to avoid that challenge? Because I know several examples of that where I can speak to companies that they've got a lot of revenue coming in, but at the end of the year they are struggling, and it's definitely something that I think sometimes they're even caught off guard by that. So, what are some ways to maybe stay ahead of that challenge?
Yeah. So implementing some of these high level reporting functions that are going to tell you your cash flow is going to be, 38K in the negative next month. So maybe you shouldn't buy that new piece of equipment or order that extra inventory until maybe the 15th of the next month. Or maybe you needed to, you need to really use reporting tools and that can link with your actual AP and AR, and it will calibrate the algorithm to see when the cash is coming in and leaving. And then you can say, okay, we can spend the 50K on that new piece of equipment in, October, but not September.
Yeah, and then the final question is QuickBook integration with Stripe. Stripe's become a very popular paywall.
Yeah.
Does it easily integrate with QuickBooks to be able?
Oh yeah, yes. Integration of like merchant service. It will integrate with your bank, and then you integrate your bank to automate with the QuickBooks.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. So am I still sharing? I'm
Yes.
sorry, I can't see
Yes,
it. I
you
feel
are.
like blind. It's weird. So if you're a business owner or a CEO manager looking for a predictable way to generate key metrics and KPIs on demand and explode your business, you're definitely in the right spot. Because once you have these key tools set up like a well-oiled machine, and you have all your goals, budgets, forecasts, financial KPIs all in place, you will be able to know how close you are to your goal to scale your business, and even in this economy, or to give you safeguards to help protect your assets and your revenue and your business. If they aren't going as planned, it will give you tools, resources, tips, and tricks to dial into processes that will save you from losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. So in general, I wanted to, I guess it doesn't really matter. I work with like the broadest range of corporations in the last 20 years. I do warehousing, e-commerce, restaurateur, hospitality, golf courses, resorts, professional done-for-you services, nonprofits. So I'm well versed, and all my clients love these tools, no matter what field or what niche you're in. These tools are really the best. And they've been battle tested and approved. So only having one of them, you're really limiting yourself to the true visibility that you could have as a business owner or CEO, to being able to make proactive decisions that really dial into the core values of your business and your goals. So the second part of the Happy CEO training dials into those key metrics that I was talking about. How can you create success with predictability? Well, it's actually dialing into the key metrics that are internally in your metrics, really getting down to the details, really understanding the formulas and the processes of attaining a new client, increasing your revenue, knowing your marketing and sales channels, understanding what your KPIs are, and having a team to execute those and to also measure them. So, of course, measure everything, and you can have systems and tools in place that will make it a lot easier than it used to. So, in general, that's pretty much all I had. So, in a nutshell, the GPS is about 5 programs. We dial into your goals. We set up the Fathom account. We set up the live plan. We set up the investor pitch and QuickBooks, or integrate it with any software that you're using. We really evaluate your numbers, make sure that they're correct so you can count on them, and start utilizing the advanced reporting tools. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
yeah.
Hey, we do have a couple more questions. So with the COVID lockdown and all the quarantine stuff that people faced, I mean, a lot of small businesses really were hit hard. And then obviously the PPP program came out, as well as the other federal program that offered some aid. But, this question actually made me think of an example of a client I had that their business flourished during this time, but yet they were operating from a place of scarcity. They had their fiscal year ended in June. They had their best year last year. And even since this year, they're up over last year. But they're operating from a place of scarcity, and they've been afraid to spend money on advertising. And I think that fear is holding a lot of people back. What are you seeing out there in the marketplace, and what advice do you have for some of these companies that really haven't been hit financially, but they're operating from a place like they have been?
Yes, and that's so common. It's a scary time. So it really is mindset. And that's the other part of my program. We really tap into the inner muscles, right? And we get your brain, your mindset, your heart brain connection with the passion of your business and your key goals. And they're probably operating from a place of scarcity because they haven't reevaluated their plan. They don't really know exactly what they're doing in this marketplace. They need to maybe set a good solid foundation with a plan that's trackable and targeted, so they can look at it and go, wow, we did really good. This should be encouraging. Okay, let's make some more goals, some more benchmarks. Let's really evaluate what we're doing here, so we don't have to operate like, the rug's going to get ripped out from under us. So being in a financial position or a business owner, you got to be able to believe in what you're doing. And a lot of times people just have a lot of self-doubt. They doubt, they have a lot of blocks and things that are stopping them from growing. And really it's a mindset shift. So I just say, sometimes it's better to have a coach, have a mentor, have somebody that can come in and kind of help you rethink things.
Yeah, it's interesting. The example I gave, they are a business that was established in the 1950s. Now it's not the original owners, so the owners are actually fairly progressive people. But when they were shut down for a couple of weeks, they told me that they're such a cash flow driven business that 2 weeks of no cash flow could put them out of business. But yet, after getting through this time and talking to them, it's like they had one of their best years ever. But they almost got in their own way because, like you said, mindset. And they got PPP funding. Instead of putting some of that towards growing, they have a retail business as well as an online business, instead of putting that towards some of their online sales, they chose to, they said, well, we want to wait till this money runs out and see where we are. And I found that an interesting conversation, but it's one that obviously means it was a very emotional decision and not necessarily one based off of, like you said, legitimate information that they can validate.
Yeah, because you and I both know that marketing dollars, pretty much there's 30, maybe to even 70% return on the dollar. Like when you invest in marketing and correctly execute the marketing plan, you can make more on marketing spend than you can in the stock market or any other investment for that matter. It's like one of the biggest places that business owners pull back on when cash is tight, but that's really when they need to release the cash to be able to generate more sales. So that's why getting dialed in to your key metrics and your processes and procedures when it comes to marketing and advertising and having those controls in place, you can look at it and you can see, oh, we make 130% on our marketing spend. We will never not spend money on marketing because we're generating 10 to 15 new clients a month. So that is just a little bit of education for that person who is making those decisions. That is why they need to go through the program. That is why people need an insight to what is my marketing firm doing for me? What are my metrics? What is my landing page click per landing page? What is my click per acquisition? What is my, what are my KPIs for just marketing? Am I getting, how much does it cost for acquisition of a new client? So once they understand that money is making them money, I think they would be more apt to use it for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I do have one more final question, which I was reluctant to ask you, but I'm going to ask you anyway because it's a fun question. And somebody direct messaged me and asked me, how did she get that endorsement from Kevin Harrington? I mean, obviously, you're amazing, but what was it that allowed you to gain that endorsement? But then on top of it, what has it meant for you?
Well, yes, and I'll be seeing Kevin next week. In a week from now, I'll be sitting right next to him on set, and we're doing a mastermind together. So lucky me. But yeah, no, it really was word of mouth, right? I mean, I guess I'm just lucky. He really enjoyed seeing some of the work that I've done. I did get like 12.5 million views on like one of my posts that was encouraging business owners to seek capital and get investors and VC funding. And so that's kind of how it all happened is, I work a lot with business credit and helping businesses establish themselves to a point where they can, submit an investor pitch to a VC funding company, that are approved, that pass all the tests. So that's what he really wanted to bring me in as is kind of a preliminary program that goes in that helps the business owner evaluate their financials, make sure they're GAAP compliant, make sure they're set up correctly, make sure, so he's like, this is kind of like what every investor needs. They need someone to go through Charity's program to make sure that they are legit. They have their EIN, their federal ID number, everything lines up. They file their taxes. They have the correct accounting. They have the correct metrics. They know they're So I go through all the things that will make it easier for him to be able to accept new products and people into his program.
One more reason we think you're amazing, but we thank you for coming on CEO Crossing. And Charity Brown, real quickly, can you tell people how they can learn more about your company and connect with you?
Yes, you can go to nowanswergroup.com. That is where my website is. There's a button there for a free strategy call that will get you in the door to speak with me. We can evaluate some of your pain points, growth challenges, cash flow issues. Maybe you just need policy and procedures for your accounting. Maybe it's the lines are blurry. You just need a review. Maybe you want that new plan and you want to go into 2020. Go there, hit the strategy button. Can review about me. I have a couple testimonials. I have about 15 new testimonial video ones that I'll put on there in the next couple weeks. And that will show the kinds of success my clients have. So I would love to talk with you guys. Nowanswergroup.com.
Charity Brown, thank you so much for coming on and sharing these insights. I know that the work you do is transforming a lot of businesses, so we're grateful that you were willing to give some of your time to us. And it is true you're going to be meeting with Kevin Harrington next week, which is, I think it's a big honor for him. He might, other people might say it's a big honor for you, but I think he's the lucky one. I know we were lucky to have you on today. Hey, folks, we hope you enjoyed this. We're going to be bringing you more amazing content contributors. And Charity is actually going to be a contributor to CEO Crossing. She's bringing some amazing insights that are going to help you transform your business. And we encourage you to come check it out. And right now, just because you attended this event, if you send me a direct message to Paul at ceocrossing.com, we'll give you 30 days free access to the community. And you can come in, check it out, network, learn a little bit about what's going on. And then if you like it, you can stay and obviously be a part of the community moving forward. So thanks again for joining us today here on CEO Crossing.